Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to the Care View, the online health and social care platform, free to access to absolutely everybody. I apologise that we've not been on for the last couple of weeks. Mark's been stunning it up in Gran Canaria or somewhere fabulous, and he's now at Benson Boone tonight, so I am soloing the show myself. So forgive me if I put the wrong things up on the screen to what I am saying. But before we get started, don't forget to hit that like, hit that subscribe button, give us a follow on any platform that you are currently watching us on. Share your comments throughout tonight's show. If you've got any questions, please ask them and we will discuss them as we get on. We are the Care View. We are completely free. There is no cost to anything that we do. And the only reason we are free is because we have fabulous sponsors within the world of health and social care who support us to keep the lights on, to keep those heating bills paid. No, I'm joking. They just keeps us paying for the streaming service. But yes, without our sponsors, we wouldn't be able to do this. So without further ado, quick roll call. We have Prosperworld, the UK's leading digital marketing agency, www.prosperworld.co.uk. We've got Care Business Associates training for all of your healthcare training requirements. And I advocate these guys all the time. I use them for chaps. I use them for train the trainer. I use them for clinical training. They are absolutely amazing. I would fully recommend them. We've got Attis Care by Attis Insurance Brokers. All your comprehensive insurance and risk management, but also a helpful voice on the end of the line. Get in touch with James Bergen from Attis Care. We have Log My Care, the intuitive care platform loved by complex care providers around the country. Again, they have a freemium version, so if you do want to try before you buy, please do go check them out. Especially great for services that provide support to people living with learning disabilities or with complex care needs, challenging behaviors or behaviors that present as challenging. Please do go check them out. We have Health Automated and Enlearningment. And both are the sort of brainchilds of Jack White. Jack White is also Jack AI, which powers our website. So please do go check them out. AI, like literally AI-powered systems, fabulous, fabulous systems. We have Florence, directly connecting healthcare professionals and organizations with shifts and training around the country. We don't like agencies, so use Florence. They're amazing. Plus, yeah, maybe a little bit more pricey from time to time. Don't shoot me, Charles, but they may be. But the benefits are far superior to using an agency. And again, a great e-learning platform. You literally pay your courses as you go. Just pay as you go on them. You don't have to buy a full package. You can pay as you go. So please do go check them out. And last but not least, we have Every Step Care Consultancy, transforming care services with tailored consultancy, turnaround management, coaching, and compliance support. Nicola Holmes, she was on the show a couple of weeks ago, and we are going to get her back for a part 2. It was really, really well received. So please do stay tuned for that. Tonight, I am joined by 3 absolutely fabulous, wonderful people that I've known for ages. And we are talking Care Boodle. So Stella, Kirsten, Liz, welcome to the show. Awkward moment now where I ask you to tell me who you are, where you're from, and what you do. And I'll start with you, Stella.
Hi, I'm Stella Shaw. I am the founder of Stella Care NW, which is a nurse-led domiciliary care company that does complex care, learning disabilities, registered personal care and TDDI. I'm a nurse myself, and very passionate about reducing hospital admissions and how we can support staff. So I am one of the trio, one of the co-founders of Care Boodle. And really, thank you, Adam, for inviting us to be here today.
No, I'm dead excited. I'm really, really looking forward to this because I love an intuitive platform and I love a solution to a problem the country is facing. Kirsten, tell us a bit about who you are, where you're from, and what you do.
Hi, yeah, I'm a GP that specialises in care of the older adult and frailty. I'm the founder of Home Visit Healthcare in Worcestershire, and which is a home visiting frailty service, and also co-founder of Care Boodle with Liz and Stella, and an associate lecturer at the University of Worcester on frailty.
Oh, snap. Oh, this is brilliant. So what I'm getting so far is we've got a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge behind this app already. So I'm already starting to buy into this. And then we have Liz. Liz, tell us a bit about who you are, where you're from, and what you do. Well, actually, it might be easier telling us what you don't do because you are like in all pies.
Give over. So I'm Liz, obviously. I'm also a nurse. I also own a domiciliary care company, but in the opposite end of the country to Stella. nurse-led. We are still equally passionate about how we support our team within the workplace. I'm also the chief exec of National Association of Care Support Workers, and we're in the process of bringing the care register, the care professional register, to the great beyond. And yeah, and the co-founder of Care Boodle.
So my first question is, how the heck do the three of you have time to found a whole new company when you're all so incredibly busy? This is amazing.
You find time when you're
I
passionate
don't
about
quite know
something.
how, to be fair. We do
Isn't
it. I
it?
don't
Yeah.
quite know. Ships that pass on
Yeah.
a night probably sums it up quite well. So yeah, the wonders of Zoom.
Yeah, Zoom. Didn't the
Yeah.
pandemic just change the world? It changed the landscape. And
Yeah.
although we were so isolated in our own homes, I feel like it connected so many more people, especially professionally around the country, because all these meeting platforms just opened up. I mean, we don't talk about Google Meets because Google Meets is horrible, and I just don't like using Google Meets whatsoever. I feel like people who have got investment by Google are forced to use Google Meets because they're the only people I know that use it, and it's just diabolical. But Teams, Zoom, love it, and I love how it connected people around the country. I mean, it's how I met most of yourselves through the work we did nationally around the country, and I think it sort of propelled the work that social care has been doing, because all of a sudden this fragmented sector was like, oh, we can talk to each other and we can think together, and we've got our own think tanks working all over the country. And Liz, you and I have been in a number of them. Stella, championing social care, we're both connected through that, so absolutely wonderful. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Care Boodle. Careboodle.com. I'm hoping I've got the website correct, so people please do go check out the website. I will keep it up for the duration of the show tonight. But tell me, what is Care Boodle? Stella.
So shall I lead a little bit on that one?
Whoever.
So yeah, so only because it kind of came from my 3 brain cells many years ago, when I started the business up. And it was, again, I came from my background of practice nursing, and I was used to using tech. And essentially, when I started the business, how do I support carers in the field? They need, I was used to tech. So I thought, how do I put myself into their position and going into people's homes? So it kind of came from me, and I lumped all these different bits and bobs together, and sat on it for quite some time. We tried to develop it, didn't really get very far. Then last year, I thought, well, I've just post-COVID, and again, I'm a nurse. I'm not a tech person at all. Last year, I went to the Care Innovation Forum weekend, and basically came away from that. So 2024 came away from that having thought, do you know what? That is it. Putting it to bed. Not going to happen. And then I somehow found myself with Stella and Kirsten, and we're doing this hackathon this weekend. So that's where it came from. And then, but the 3 of us have. I met Stella. Stella I've known for a long time. Kirsten through the Home Care Association frailty program that she delivered, and we were just able to frame it. So it evolved. It's evolved from my original, but still based upon my original thoughts. But we've been able to frame it in a more practical, and I don't know what was the word you used, not a more practical way, and frame it into a more intuitive way. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, so that's where it came from.
Oh, fabulous. So the 3 of you met through a forum, through an association. How did the 3 of you sort of align to go, actually, this is what we want to do together? How do we make this work?
I think because I've known Liz a long time. Liz and I are both nurses and have got nurse-led care, home care agency. So I suppose we just clicked because we're already doing a very nurse-led approach to home care. And then through the Home Care Association, I attended a webinar that Kirsten did with regards to frailty. And then I contacted Kirsten after and said, oh, it's really, really interesting. I love what you're doing. And then we all ended up meeting, didn't we? And then it just grew from there, I think, because we're all passionate about identifying delirium in frailty. And because we all deal with frail people in our community, it's how best to identify deterioration. And when you've got lots of care staff that are out in the field, if we can support them to identify causes of delirium early, that's what Care Boodle is. It's just a support platform for carers to assess, and that allows then that assessment to come through, and then the managers or whoever can actually take that forward. So, and it's all about identification, keeping people at home for longer, early detection of delirium, and preventing hospital admissions. And I think when I was speaking to Liz and Kirsten, we're talking on the same thing, we're talking the same lines, we're talking the same language, and we've got the same passion with regards to that. So I think it's developed quite quickly because we're all aligned in our thought process, and our outcome is basically to support people better at home using care staff and using the Care Boodle app.
This is, I mean, it's absolutely fabulous. And I am going to share the screen shortly just to sort of show the website off and what have you. But Kirsten, being a frailty GP, I mean, I presume that the assessments within this tool are, I mean, amazing, obviously. But what sort of things, because, you know, in my head, I'm thinking I'm a carer. I don't really know the difference between delirium and dementia. So how do the assessments within this tool, I mean, do they actually support the growth of knowledge for the team as well as actually making it foolproof to assess? Or is there a baseline knowledge that they need to have before they use them?
So I think we've made it pretty easy for anyone to use this app. So to use the app, you have to be verified. So you have to there is in-app training, which is all within the app. So it's so to be able to use it, you have to go through the training, which is short, bite-sized. It is very easy to do, I think, to do the training. And then it's a simple sort of assessment that the carers can do for when they suspect a delirium in one of their clients. And when we talk about delirium, it means your client, it might just present as your client is just not quite the normal selves that day. They might be slightly more sleepy than normal, or they might be slightly more agitated and aggressive than normal, pacing. But they're very subtle signs, but they lead to unplanned emergency hospital admissions, falls, sepsis. So training carers and supporting them to understand what delirium is in frailty, what it looks like, how subtle it could be, and to identify. The key thing about delirium is that the sooner you identify it and treat it, the better the outcomes. Then it will help prevent the negative consequences of a delirium, which we really want to keep people at home and as independent as well as they can be. And so this kind of understanding this delirium, this concept, how it presents, is really important, and it's not very well understood in hospitals, and even more so in the community. So the app is brilliant in the fact that there's in-app training. It helps them make a comprehensive assessment, but also actually is in the background collecting some really valuable data about delirium in the community, which will be very helpful for the dom care agencies and commissioners and public health professionals, really.
Fantastic. So this has the potential to really change how we deliver home care in the community. This has the potential to really change how we view health conditions in the community. I mean, is delirium where you stop with this, or are there other things that you're thinking, actually, we want to include this? I know it's a big thing, but sepsis, for example, you know, we've got to be acting quick on things like that. So is that something that you've ever considered to incorporate this, or is Care Boodle just going to be delirium?
So this is why me and Liz look like we're in the same bed, because we're in a hotel. We're in
I wasn't going to say it. I wasn't going to.
We really shouldn't disavow them. We should let them think we're in the same bed. Yeah.
We're in an apartment in Birmingham, in the centre of Birmingham today, because for 3 days we've been doing a hackathon with the University of Birmingham City University, and we're talking about an add-on to Care Boodle where we're looking at the delirium is the acute sort of spot it thing, and we are developing with the MSc Computer Science students at Birmingham City University a proactive AI powered proactive personalised care plan assessment as well, as an add-on. And then again, something like sepsis, there's the potential to put something like that into the Care Boodle as well. The way it's been sort of I suppose programmed, you can add these things on. So
I mean, sorry, Adam. Sorry, no. I was just going to say it's all about giving the team in the field, isn't it? The confidence to recognise and the confidence to recognise these conditions, and you're not about diagnosing the condition, but recognising, as Kirsten said, that someone might not be quite as well as they were yesterday, but whereas before they might doubt themselves and say, oh, not sure. See, by having the tools in their pocket, and originally I called it the second opinion in your pocket, because it's just nice to know you've got someone you can refer to. Sepsis was always a thing that was obviously, it's at top of the hit list, isn't it, all the time. And I think it's also trying to is upskilling and giving them the confidence and knowledge that they're not dreaming, if that makes sense, and they're not making things up, and then actually giving them the tools to be able to confidently translate that to the manager, then up the line to the relevant medical professionals to bring in and expedite care to keep them at home. That's the plan. Or if they need a hospitalisation, to at least get them treated and then bring them home. But so you just haven't got this big delayed discharge issue that we've had for so long and never seems to go away.
And there's nothing worse than phoning for a GP or phoning night out of hours or phoning your health teams and going, they're just not themselves. They just don't seem right. And they go, all right, okay, it's not a problem. We'll come and see them when we can. But with this, I presume this is the oomph that you need to be able to go, actually, I've just done this assessment and it says, I mean, what's the output of the assessment? Does it give you like a score? Does it give you, what does it give you to be able to go to the GP and go, look, this is what we've done. This is what the assessment says.
It gives you a comprehensive, it gives you a structured handover. It doesn't give you a score. It's not a medical device, and we're not expecting it to give a diagnosis. But what it does is it shows it gives you a structured handover and the structured assessment, which will be very useful for the healthcare professionals on the receiving end of it. So the output is a structured and assessment, and that will be from my point of view on the receipt, because obviously I'm on the receiving end of these calls in out of hours from nursing homes, from relatives, from dom care agency workers. That would be very helpful to actually have a bit more information that will help me direct the correct kind of resources to the patient. Sorry, Stella, did you want to say something else?
Well, I was just saying it's really helpful having a GP as one of because Liz and I know that how we refer currently when somebody is unwell or what information we need, and helping the carer to articulate when they feel as though the client isn't unwell or is unwell, and using the structured assessment. When that comes in, then I'm confident that if I went to somebody like Kirsten as a GP, that they've got enough data to actually make an informed decision about what that situation is, rather than phoning up and asking more questions. So it actually streamlines the whole process. It makes it quicker as well, and it supports primary care and community care and health in regards to, well, what's the action plan? And then within the whole app as well, we've actually got we measured outcomes that we can follow up over a couple of weeks, so we can actually determine, was that intervention kept the client at home or not? So we can actually then use that powerful data to see how effective something like this is. And to be fair, I think when we all looked and we did our market research, there isn't much in the way of apps for carers. They're actually a lot of responsibility. They are with the client all of the time. They know every single little bit of change. And yet we really don't focus on what they see and what their concerns are, so it's very much about the focus is on the people that are actually on the ground with the people. And just that, as I say, that structured assessment was really quite powerful to help us streamline and get, as a very nursey saying, which is the right care to the right person at the right time. And it's just that health mentality for nursing is actually what we're trying to do, is spill over into social care and support the carers to feel, like Liz said, empowered and trusted in order to ask a series of questions to help in that assessment.
So all sounds great. Is this live now? Is it a service that is out up and running now, or is it in beta mode? Is it something that you're looking at launching? Is it launched?
It's going to be, we're going to be launching it in sort of putting it into pilot mode in two weeks.
Wow.
So it's yeah, it's very exciting.
Your
So
early Christmas present to the care sector.
It's scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
We've had a question come through. Now, please don't all recoil, because I know you are fabulous home care advocates. But the question is, are these tools transferable to a nursing home setting?
Yes. In a
Yeah.
word.
Absolutely, yeah.
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 I mean, I think it's transferable to most settings. It could be transferable because it's about the ability to recognise those little changes, and it's the subtle changes. And it doesn't matter whether you're in someone's home or whether you're in a nursing home setting, residential setting, even in a hospital, to be fair. And I just think it's just, again, it's giving them the confidence to have to recognise those subtle changes and articulate them, as Stella said, in a professional manner. So, and then recognise it in a professional manner, so they're not deemed just the carer, and that the person that they're articulating to realise, oh, actually they know what they're talking about here, and maybe I'd better take a second look. Whereas before they might not really, whoever they are, have actually listened to what they were being told.
So, where does this sit alongside care planning tools? And I'm not to sort of I'm not trying to throw problems out there. I'm just thinking, as a provider, I've got a home care planning system that we use, and that's got assessments built into it. So, why do I need Care Boodle as well? Tell me why. Tell me why I need to sign up to this.
Well, the care plan's the basic information, the standard information that you need in order to then prescribe and meet the care needs. So the care plan will have their day-to-day. The care plan is their norm, their current norm. What Care Boodle is about spotting and articulating what's not normal for that client. And that's where we lack. I think lots of social care organisations, and I'm glad somebody put about, is this transferable to nursing homes? But if you think about PAs and the amount of care workforce we have, are they ever really supported and looked after and trained in order to spot red flags, changes, deterioration? I don't think it happens. I think we focus on training that is very, moving and handling and very meeting the day-to-day needs, which is fine, but not so much about the changes that a client may have. And in a time where people are living longer, but not necessarily healthier, there's lots of polypharmacy, there's lots of comorbidities, it's complex. And I think people have complex needs. And as well, we a care plan will definitely look at the norm. It's also very important to identify the abnormal and do it quickly. And that's why this is works alongside any care plan in any organization, because that's what we're focusing on. Because the impact of not identifying delirium early is a hospital admission, and the current cost of frailty in the NHS is £6 billion a year. It's a lot of money when you think of hospital stays, extended hospital stays, and then people get infection and then they stay in longer. It's about that focus of being at home and having your care team with you to support that. I think is quite powerful and much needed.
I mean, this can work, and just this can work alongside those care management systems. So we will be looking to get and I think it's called an API, so it can directly connect with those the variety of care management systems and the GP's notes. That is again something that will be in the pipeline, and again that's going to feed in. It will directly feed into that. So again, to sort of reduce the friction of using it.
Yeah. I think definitely with making APIs available and being able to integrate that way would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
I've had a question. So Nicholas said there's this link into the software. That's what we've just spoken about, potentially getting those APIs out, which would be fabulous. And would this work alongside the News 2? Is the News 2 something that actually you think about integrating into this or not? I know we've just spoke about sepsis, so but would the News 2 be something?
Again, I think News 2 could go into it. It's just that then we would be moving into medical device category.
And then you get regulated.
There is there is always but there is that possibility. So, but if you've got, let's say, the nursing home, the nurses can do a News 2 score, they can. There's the ability for the manager to put that in to the to actually sort of like it's to manually write in the News 2 score, write in the OBS, and then before they escalate it. So you can put the News 2 score in if say, for example, you're in a nursing home and you get the escalation, you can put in the News 2 score and then send it on its way to getting to the healthcare professional. So you can manually put it in. Now, the carer at the moment, it's not actually within the actual assessment, because then you would be going into medical device category. So, and also
in home care, we haven't got the facilities. We don't have blood pressures and pulse oximetry, and it's not standard within the home care setting. So that's why it's a manual input depending on so it's adaptable to different settings.
I mean, but the idea in this, as you put in the information, then that all gets pulled out sort of AI into an SPARD. So obviously the SPARD was the situation, etc.
Background assessment.
Thank you. My brain's completely blank. But the SPARD. So originally I did have the News 2 and the SPARD in there. So as you go through the app, it pulls out and puts it into an SPARD type report automatically that then gets filtered up, and that's essentially your report that then gets filtered up the chain to the relevant managers.
I mean, this is all sounding really, really exciting. You've said some of my key phrases that I love tonight. You've AI, API, cost saving. I think this is all, and if anything, the impact on that person's life as well. I'm a quality manager, so I always have to bring things back to the regulations. And already we're taking 12 and 17 out with safe care and treatment, because we're providing that really good support. Good governance because of the oversight that we're getting. You're going to tick a number of quality statements, although we don't talk about the quality statements, but you're going to tick a number of those quality statements around making sure people get their health needs that are being met proactively, that they're being given the information, because you can advise them throughout the whole process of this. And I suppose this is an assessment that you can actually sit down and do with them as well. You can sit down and involve them in this process and say, this is what I'm going to put in here, and I'm going to keep you updated. Is there a way for you to share this with their LPAs, their relatives? Can that be shared off that way?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, we do. I mean, as we can email it. This is with regarding with the onboarding, you have the set sort of, the emails that the people that is going to be updated and informed. So yes, but the answer to that is yes.
So I'm now trying to figure out how I get this. I mean, obviously we're going to do this on the podcast and we're trying to get it out. But I feel like so many people need to know about this, because it is going to be really, really beneficial. So talk me through the website quickly then. So we've spoken about most of this already, haven't we? So it's going to empower carers to spot and escalate the signs of delirium to managers. It's going to prevent people ending up in hospital, and it's going to reduce the burden on the NHS. I mean, if you can save the NHS £6 billion, I think they will be over the moon. So how it works? So I presume this is what the app looks like then on my phone. It's an actual app. It's not a web-based system. It's an app you download from the store.
Yes.
Yeah.
Android and Apple.
Yes.
Yes.
Both of
Yeah.
them. Both of
Yes.
them. Yeah.
So I presume I get a login as a carer, do I? And I just go and how does it work? Is there a name that I select, or do you load your clients into it already, or is it a sort of as you go you add them in?
It's more the carers are the carers will be the people who have the logins, and then they will be, they will go and see a client, and they will fill in their details, and they'll complete the assessment that will get escalated to their manager, and then that will be provides a structured assessment, which then gets escalated again to the healthcare professional that is suitable to see them based on the assessment. So it's generally the carers that work for the domiciliary care agencies that will be sort of added to the system. So as a dom care agency, I imagine you're going to have your carers that are verified to use the app. They have to do the training first. So you will be able to see very clearly on the dashboard that all your carers are verified. They've done the training to use the app.
I must say, one of the things that's in this that has really excited me is the fact that people have to do the training before they can use it. And I think that gets so overlooked sometimes. I mean, I've introduced multiple softwares within our organization. I have done for the last sort of 10, 15 years working in social care. New software comes out, oh, fabulous, let's use it. And you get the training for it, and you ask the team to do the training, but they don't. But they're still in the system, and they're doing the system wrong and everything like that. I think that's a really, really wonderful feature, which I know some people will sit there and go, oh, God, I've got to do the training now. But as a manager, that gives me so much confidence that that person's had to sit there and go, right, this is how I do that. This is how I do this. This is how I use that before I can even go in and do anything on it. I think that's a really, really innovative approach to the app. It doesn't happen often. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen it on any of the softwares and systems that I use.
Yeah, it's a big safety thing, really. It's a fail-safe thing that you just can't use it unless you've been verified, and that the way you're verified is by doing the in-app training.
So just going a bit further down. So the assessment itself. Oh, so it's like a next page sort of thing. You can see how many questions you've got left.
11 questions.
So it's a preset assessment. We don't alter that. You can't alter that. It is just set within the system.
Preset assessment, there's an element of free text if you need to. We've tried to make it as intuitive and quick, because obviously, again, if you also got to think about what the individual, if you're in a half an hour visit and then you're noticing a change, you've also got to complete your usual records. What the last thing you need to be doing as well is completing complex, difficult assessments. So we've tried to make it as intuitive and easily processable as we can, as then it pulls the information out as you go, so then it can be rapidly escalated, as we've said. So we've tried to be quite a visual thing. I mean, anyone that knows me knows I like my colours and my pictures, and I'm such a child at heart. But that's what we've kind of tried to base it on. And also, we're very mindful of the fact that, as we know, many people working within care are a bit technophobic. I don't mean phobic, but they struggle with tech, and a lot of the software management stuff is quite scary. The last thing we want to be doing is adding more pressure. What we're trying to do is take pressure off and to give them the confidence, and we don't want that to be a barrier by adding more pressure. So we're trying to. I mean, Stella and I both gave it to our teams to start with it, and it was really clunky and really slow and boring. So I think they were quite excited. What's it going to look like now? And so with the aim of making it, as I said, as intuitive, so we can get that escalation as quick as we can.
And I suppose the importance of this as well is the people who will be using it, and this is no detriment to, I mean, I'm not a medical professional, so, you know, I want something that actually is really easy for me to follow. I can just go tap, tap, tap. I can put my thing in. And I analyze a lot of data within my job, and there is nothing worse than a free text box. Like, there is nothing worse than a free text box. Surveys, anything like that, you go, oh my God, free text. Now I've got to analyze all that free text to figure out what the hell's going on here. Whereas actually, if you're using free text control and predetermined responses, it makes that analysis within the system a lot easier as well, I presume.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I can see somebody's asked a question about GDPR.
I was going to come on to that when we came down to. No, let's come to it now. No, it's good. Let's come to it now. So I was going to come on to it when it came about email notifications, and I thought that segues quite nice into the GDPR, because instant email notifications, are those emails sent from the system? Are those emails end-to-end encrypted? I also love GDPR in data. So yeah, talk us through the sort of data security around this as well.
So we will be. So basically, Dan, our chief technological officer, has been, you know, he's been absolutely brilliant in helping design the app, and there has been a real focus on GDPR and security from the beginning. So it's kind of baked into the design of the app, if that makes sense. So there's lots of features like, or the data. It might be better if Dan was here to explain it, but the data is going away from carers' devices. There's no data stored on any device at all. The back end is logged in by the manager with multi-factor authentication, and we are just going through Cyber Essentials and Cyber Essential Plus process, as well as getting sort of we will be producing the data protection impact assessment, and we're getting some expert advice to ensure that it meets the highest standards of cybersecurity. So we are taking that very seriously, and it will be meeting the standards really. And I mean, the standards that we aim to meet are the NHS procurement digital standards. So we are just going through the process of ensuring that we do meet that it is cyber secure, because we do recognise that it's highly sensitive patient and client data.
And I think that's the other benefit, isn't it? Is that because we all come from the background that we come, we're all deeply aware of the GDPR and the impact. And actually, it's the other thing that brings out in hives. You know, when I think about the potential risk, and so we're very, very mindful about, you know, keeping data and the sensitive data and where it sits. So we've all been super conscious about that from the get-go.
No, I think, you do right. I mean, you can't escape data security nowadays. You can't escape GDPR. You can't. How would this work for? So, I've completed an assessment and I've put that assessment in. Is it stored within the app? Can the carer go back to that assessment? Can they edit it?
No.
Can they? No. So as soon as they submit it, it's gone and they've got no more access to it.
Yeah. That's right.
And then the manager then has access to it, and they can obviously keep a copy. They can download it. They can only see. So is there like a login dashboard for a PC that you would use?
Yeah.
No, sounds good. Emails, so instant email notifications when assessments are submitted. So does that go to the dashboard, or will it go to the email that's logged in the system for the manager?
Email, and then on the dashboard. So they can get whoever email that they put down will go to that person, to the manager.
So again, just to come to your question, Trish, about GDPR, that then comes down to common sense of the manager using the system, of making sure that the email that they're using in the system is a secure email. You know, because if they're going to be putting their emails in to get this, it's down in personal responsibility, isn't it? You're not going to put a Gmail email in there, are you? You're going to put in like a Proton mail or an NHS mail.
No.
So you know it's end-to-end encrypted.
Yeah. I mean, there will be, obviously, within the agreements, the contracts, these things will be sort of laid out in great detail about who is the data controller, who is the data processor, where the responsibilities lie, and it will be,
Yeah. And of course, everyone watching this, contemplating this, have completed their DSPTs, haven't they? You know, everyone will have completed their data protection toolkit. So we should all know about this. We should all know who our DPOs are. Trisha's come again and asked, does it have the facility for speech recognition? I'm very conscious that reviews should be a good conversation and not someone more engaged with their phone, etc. So if I'm understanding this right, very limited free text boxes in there, so very little need for having that speech recognition function in there because you're not typing as much. From what I've seen so far, if I just go back up to this bit here, it's very image heavy, very icon based, very sort of touch tap screen. So you can do that together with the person that you're with. So you know, you can, I'm presuming you can sit down with them and go, oh, I'm just going to put this down for you here, and I'm going to put this down like you would do with any assessment, even if it was on a piece of paper, you're talking them through it. If it's app based and I'm using it on my phone, would I just be able to use my integrated Google keyboard to be able to do voice recognition? Because I use that for a lot of things. If I'm on a web page or if I'm doing stuff on my phone that I want to type up and maybe I'm doing an audit, I can just do the speech recognition on my Google keyboard and speak and it will type for me. Will that work with this app?
I'd like it to work. It was one of the things when we were trialing it at the beginning and we realised just how clunky it was when there was a lot of free text and I think I've said, well, we've all said straight away, there needs to be voice recognition. I know what you mean. I mean, with the Google free text, I mean, I do that with my notes when I'm going out to care, and it's okay. But I mean, I look, I think that's not what I said. I mean, so I'd like it to be better than Google text, if I'm honest. And I absolutely agree with what Trish said. But the idea in my head, the ideal scenario is that as it gets more and more widely used and known, then actually, whereas I don't want them to be, you know, on their phone all the time. They won't need to be because they will know the concept of the app. They'll know the process, so it will be a very quick thing, and they'll know what the format consists of. So they won't have to be on their phone because they will know roughly that they're going to be looking at pain. They're going to be looking at there's potential infection. So it will be a conversation as opposed to, you know, I'm going through the assessment and they can fill it in because they've got that, they've done the training. And they've used it a few times and they've got the experience. So I think maybe at the beginning, if someone's new to care and they don't have the confidence, it might be slightly more sort of phone, you know, based as opposed to accommodation. But hopefully, in time, it will become a known thing, and they won't have to be so focused on their phone. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. I mean, for me, I don't have much worry about another device and another form that we'd have to fill in on the phones and doing that because we'd just be doing the same on paper. We'd just be writing it out on paper and sitting there and writing it. And we should be having that conversation. For me, I think that voice recognition is more important for the accessibility side of things. So carers with dyslexia, people with neurodivergent, people with learning difficulties. Sometimes it's easier for them to be able to speak rather than type. And I suppose that would just give them a bit more confidence. So again, I am a bit of a techie guy. I think the Google keyboard should just integrate with this automatically because does it have its own built-in keyboard or does it just use your phone's keyboard that pops up? Because if it just uses your phone's keyboard that pops up, the Google speech should work with it, whether it's clunky or not. I think, you know, it should work there, and I think it's fine.
I mean, at the moment, it is the phone keyboard. That's not to say in the future that won't change.
Yeah. So if it's
I don't think that Google, as you said, you know, the Google with someone with the speech deficit or is actually that good. I think I'm sure there's probably better out there, but again, it's how quickly. And I think we need to develop it a bit further because obviously every element of tech costs that extra layer of cash. So it's going to be probably maybe not this for the moment. It will be the Google and the standard keyboard. But I absolutely agree with you. There needs to be that voice recognition for the people that find it easier to talk. And to be honest, I prefer it. I mean, I've discovered as I get older, my fingers are getting more sausage-like every day. And I look at that's not what I've just written. I look at that's what have I just written there, you know. So I think anything that makes life easier and quicker has got to be a good thing.
Yeah, definitely.
And the thing is with this as well, you're not going to be using it every day. Our clients aren't ill every day, or do you know what I mean? I suppose it is a thing that's available should they have a concern about their clients. And when we tested it out, it takes no longer than 5 minutes to complete. There's only 11 questions, and a lot of them are, that don't require any text. And within 5 minutes, that assessment has gone to the manager, who within 10 minutes can send that to the GP, which then can be assessed within the same day and get antibiotics prescribed within a very short amount of time. So there's lots of, we have looked at languages. A lot of my care staff are foreign. Can we have different language? So there's lots of potential with it. But I think for how we're looking at it now, it's for a very quick, simple, easy, quick assessment to do that's picture based, but we'll get and extract as much data as possible from the client to inform a very quick assessment that we can refer on to if there's a concern. So it's just so easy and so quick, and not something, hopefully, that they're not using every day, but it's there should they need it.
There's not a huge amount of free text that is required. It's more, Dan is deliberately again taking great time designing it to be intuitive and easy to use, and to be inclusive from that point of view.
Perfect. So we get the assessment, we can download that, send that off to GPs, send that off to specialists, comes in a PDF format. Then this part, I don't think we've spoken about this part. So track 2-week outcomes. Talk me through this. How does this work?
So this is basically, it's an automated follow-up, which will ask the dom care manager, what has happened to that client. So key things, I suppose, that we are looking at and we really want to know is, are they at home and are they well, or did unfortunately they go to hospital? Were there any antibiotics prescribed, and what was the treatment? So that is a really important follow-up question. So again, we can see what is happening with these clients who have suspected delirium in the community, and give, again, through data sort of analytics, be able to see what is working, what's not working. And also, ideally what we want to see is everybody who has the assessment completed, that it is beneficial and that the majority of them do remain at home and are well 2 weeks later, and don't get admitted to hospital. That's the kind of thing that we're looking for. But that'd be hugely Sorry, Stella.
It's just to add the saying that everyone's talking about, outcome based, and that's what we focused on. So it is about, there's no good having all of this, regardless of how easy it is, if you're not tracking the outcome of the client. And that's where the data is. So, and it's very important. Everything's very much about outcome based care at the moment. So that's quite important to track that.
So I suppose,
can just say to Trish, don't worry about all the questions, keep them coming. Bless her.
Yeah. I'm going to come to your next question in a second, Trish. But I'm just thinking. So I'm running a business myself. I'm not. I'm just talking hypothetically. I'm running a home care business, and I'm thinking, oh gosh, I wonder how many hospital admissions I'm going to save by doing this. It'd be really. We should be tracking our hospital admissions anyway. But one thing that we could do before starting with Care Boodle is go, right, over the last 6-month period, we had X amount of hospital admissions. X number of these were associated to delirium or similar type symptoms. I'm going to try this out for 6 months, and I'm going to see how much I can reduce those hospital admissions down by. Especially when things like, and I don't know whether you've got them in your area, but we do at ours, at-home IVs. Where people can come out and provide that sort of IV antibiotics. They can provide IV fluids at home within their home setting, so they're not having to go to hospital. Difficult to get and doesn't always go smoothly. But with all of the services that are around and available, this should really dramatically reduce those hospital admissions. And then you can track that yourself. And then thinking selfishly, not about the clients at the minute, you as an organization, really great evidence to the regulators about how you are working proactively to make sure that people's care needs are met and their health is the priority, and they're not off to hospital. I mean, I'm a John's Campaign ambassador. And the one thing about John's Campaign is, and if no one knows what John's Campaign is, please do go look it up. Dr. John Gerard had a dementia and went into hospital for a routine treatment just on his legs. Whilst he was in hospital, there was a DMB outbreak, which meant 2 weeks of not seeing his family. Now, before he went to hospital, he could talk, he could eat, he could hold conversation, he gardened, did all that sort of stuff. And with that 2 weeks isolation, wasn't feeding himself anymore, couldn't garden, couldn't hold a conversation, and died not long after. And it was that impact of not having his family there that sort of exacerbated his deterioration. So we advocate for the rights for all relatives to have access to their loved ones. But what would be even more fabulous is not even being in hospital in the first place. You know, not getting stuck in hospital for something so mundane and routine. And this is where Care Boodle comes in. I think it's fabulous.
Has to focus on that. We've got to focus on that because we don't track anything from home care that much. We have the capacity tracker, so we do have to fill out, but it's very hospital based again. You know, how many beds available that we have, how much capacity we have to provide commission based care. So there are things there, but if you think everybody could you know, track the outcomes of their clients in social care, in home care, and in nursing homes, residential and nursing, for example. Imagine the ONS figures. Imagine that database where we could actually say, and it would give more value to the social care sector to say that we are important in reducing hospital admissions. And currently, other than individuals, agencies doing amazing work that are innovative, that are really trying to do something, nothing's joined up and everybody works in isolation. So it's about looking at things more proactively to inform that data to see exactly the impact of what home care does.
And it's all about the collaboration, isn't it? We keep talking about it.
Absolutely.
And as we just said about, you know, we all work, everything's so fragmented and we all work within dom care. And it's about, if we want care to improve, and we know that this is Mr. Streeting's aim, the neighbourhood and, you know, bringing a hospital at home. We know this is his aim. But if that's going to work, we've got to be working together. And they've got to start recognising that actually, you know, we're doing these assessments and just act on, not just cast them to one side, because they, as we know, it goes back to the professionalisation of the industry and being recognised that they do have knowledge and that we are the people, whether we're in a care home or whether we're, you know, in somebody's home at 4 o'clock on a winter's afternoon, we're the people that know these clients in pretty much inside out. And actually, for if we're saying that actually we know there's an issue, then listen to it. There's an issue. So let's you know, so we don't have a situation like the gentleman you've just spoken about.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
And if you think about the other section of people, the unpaid carers, I don't even know what, I mean, nobody knows the exact figures of what that is. And if you think of PAs,
a minute.
It's in a phenomenal amount of people
from
that are provided.
5 as well. So they count the number of unpaid carers from the age of 5, which I always find shocking.
I never knew that. Yeah, that is awful, isn't it? But what support do they have with regards to spotting deterioration or understanding things like delirium, you know, so when to go to a GP or when to refer, and at least they've got a printout on their phone, a PDF that they can say, phone up, I've got a concern, can I just send you this? You know, because one of the questions was, well, how do you send it to the GP? But in home care currently, we generally have good relationship with our GP, that we do send emails and give phone calls and stuff. So once we've got the data from the carer, we would send that PDF to whoever. So what could it be? The wider MDT team, it could be occupational health, it could be the GP, it could be the district nurse. I mean, that PDF is just to go to whoever is again the right care to the right person at the right time, and it's supportive across all carers.
GPs often send links out which you can upload files onto. So we do it regularly, where then they send out a link and you can upload something that will just go and it goes automatically into your notes, your GP notes. So it's for an example of that is when people ask for like photos of like moles and things like that, that you send a link, you upload it to the link, and then it's automatically there on the notes. So it should work that way. But ideally, we would maybe get an API to go into the notes, or to the Accurate system, which is like, I think widespread now.
Yeah. So 2 more questions, because we are coming up to the hour. So Trisha's said, how is it sent to the GP?
Via
Well,
email.
yeah, via. So, well,
Either
some people
email.
use email, but sometimes GPs send out a link to maybe. So you guys do it via email, do you? Sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes we send out a link, but that's, I suppose, and then it's uploaded via the link, like you upload a photo.
So we would
But
just
to be
download
honest,
it
in
from the
home
system
care,
and send it.
sorry, it's just for home care currently, and I would imagine this is in nursing homes as well. You phone up the GP and explain the situation. But so even if it's on a phone, because you've got the assessment in front of you, you would just read out the assessment, or then get the email to then send to the practice manager or the GP, or get the link. So there are
Yeah.
different ways to get that information across.
I think it's quite postcode driven at the moment, isn't it? I mean, again, it goes back to that, you know, what Stella does in her area and what I do in my area, and ditto. I mean, yes, I think, I mean, when we showed, someone was saying, I think when we were talking, oh, we have a phone, you know, specifically for us, so we haven't got to phone the GP, like, but where I am, we have to sit on the phone and wait like every other, you know, for half an hour, and it's such a colossal waste of time. So, I mean, and again, this then also comes back to this collaborative working. And so that they need to bring. So I do think there's a lot of conversations we need to be having with the individualized CVs, or whatever they're going to become in the but definitely saying, look, this is out there. So if we are passing this information to you, then, you know, give us a way, because obviously we're going to then hit that barrier that we've taken all the steps, that we've still got that barrier where it can't be escalated rapidly enough to the GP, and therefore gets sat on by. Then any good that we have, or progress that we've made in escalating and evidence and concern is going to be stopped. So we've got to find ways of this collaborative working.
No, definitely. And then my final question, which is the question everybody always dreads this question: what's it going to cost me?
Oh, how do we know that was coming? So
I'm excited now. You've whetted my appetite, and I'm thinking to myself, right, all sounds really, really good. There's going to have to be a catch. So is it a pricing model? Is it based on size of your service, number of users? How does it work?
So we are looking at, we haven't finalised cost yet. That's not a cop out. We really haven't finalised cost yet. But if it's a commissioner and wants all their frameworks, the carers, all the companies on their framework, then obviously that's going to be, because it's a large amount of number, the individual subscription cost would be less, for example. But then if it's a PA could buy this on their own, it could be a small organisation can buy it on their own. So, and that's why it's a bit complex to say exactly what that is going to look like now. So until we've tested it, which we're going to do in 2 weeks, and then really get that data back, then we can pitch it and look at the price, because there will be a cost to it, and it isn't going to be, we don't want it to be anything expensive, not in this current climate especially. So, but I think it'd be unfair to say what they are now, because I don't think we haven't finalized that.
So the best thing to do would be to get in touch with you. And you can do that direct from your website, hello@careboodle.com. The website has been up for the duration of this show, so please do go check out the website, drop you a contact and go, I'm interested, let's have a conversation. That's going to be the best way to move forward.
I think the best way to contact us at the moment will be via our LinkedIn profiles, probably.
Oh, okay.
Because so I think that at the moment that will be the best, because I'm not sure we haven't exactly got access to that email right now, so it would be via our LinkedIn profiles. So and we are looking for people to domiciliary care agencies, progressive domiciliary care agencies, to pilot this, and in which case there'd be a reduced cost for piloting and giving us feedback, because I think it's really important that we are going to do a lot of iterations while we're piloting it, and we want this tech to be definitely influenced by the end users and be really sort of shaped so it's very, very good for them. And as even nursing home managers would be open to conversations, so please do contact us. Yeah.
Oh, exciting. I think that's actually one of my managers in the chat as well. So I'm going to be bombarded with questions tomorrow. I can feel it already. I'm going to be bombarded with questions. No, but it's really interesting to know, especially if we branch out service-wise, if we have different services that we use. I think it'd be really, really interesting. So yeah, please do go contact you. Is Care Boodle on LinkedIn? Have you got a LinkedIn page for Care Boodle?
Yes, same page,
Yeah.
Right, so Google, go on LinkedIn, search Care Boodle, contact you through that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Trish has said, I'm familiar with access care planning. I'm sorry, Trish, that you are. No, I'm joking. I've
got that too.
Yeah, Mark would have said it if he was here. I used to use access care planning when I was a home care provider. I know Mark's not a fan. So Trish says, I'm familiar with access care planning, and there is a facility for reviews and concerns, etc. to be completed. Wouldn't that be the case for most digital care platforms?
So I think the answer to that is, well, I think that I understand what you're saying, but the thing with Care Boodle is that there is this real kind of data collection going on in the background, which can be ubiquitous across all the care platforms, where there's we can do some really valuable predictive analytics and potentially even benchmarking in the future, whether that is something that agencies would be interested in. But so yes, I think for each individual care platform, there are this potential where you write the reviews and concerns, but actually this is a much more sort of intuitive way for a carer to do an assessment, but it's also got this valuable data collection in the background. Because I mean, I know you use Access, don't you, Stella? So
yeah. And we have what's called incident forms and stuff. So, but it's not they're very generalized, and when they come in, then we use the managers. Well, it's nurse led, so our nurses look at the incident forms and triage them, and then we contact GPs and stuff like that. But then this is very much about the main cause of delirium, and it's not generalized, so it's looking at something a lot deeper, a lot more streamlined, and a lot more data driven and outcome based driven, that is actually going to be more beneficial than a standard digital incident form.
And I'm just thinking to myself, I use person-centered software in my services for the nursing homes, and they've got an array, like an absolute array of assessment tools on there. But they don't have the pinch me, which but there's nothing on it to assess delirium, which I'm now sat here thinking, what an omission. I don't understand it. How are we assessing it right now? I'm really confused.
Quiet, Adam. We've got to get Care Boodle.
To be fair, person-centered software won't listen and do anything about it anyway, so don't worry. I don't care. I'm not sponsored by them, I'm not sponsored. I think it's definitely something that I think Care Boodle is fixing a massive gap within social care right now.
It's also like there's a dashboard that's going in the background, which again gives you this very valuable data, and tracking the outcomes again is a very important part of that, which is really going to help care agencies target their resources. So it is different to what's out there.
It is, and even if you're thinking from your CQC compliance, your governance, that we have reduced hospital admissions, and we are using this to identify, and therefore we have referred to the GP 13 times this month, and we have recognised that we have got 13 clients that were referred, but they're all still with us and they're at home. So therefore the app's being effective in supporting the clients. If you think about tender bids with regards to, what makes your service proactive and responsive, and something like this can help across the board. And CQC for me, when something's well led, is all about about how we are being proactive, not reactive, as home care care providers, let's say.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that's really the thing I said earlier this morning is we're always very mindful that the people at the crux of this whole idea are the people receiving the care and the people delivering the care. And as you said, the people receiving the care for all the reasons we've just said, the people delivering the care, because in the whole time, I mean, I've been going 10 years now and when I had this idea 10 years ago, I mean, every year I scout, and as we've said, there's nothing out there supporting the individual delivering care, or nothing like this. And I just think I don't understand. We've just got to be really mindful of the people who are particularly new to care. And if we want to attract people into care, then we've got to be, and we know that's another big thing, we've got to be giving them the tools to do the job.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Look, I think Care Boodle is a winning formula here. I think this is answering or at least addressing a problem that we've not addressed properly within health and social care. I think this is something that could revolutionize how we manage and support people with delirium at home and prevent hospital admissions. I think the NHS could benefit hugely from this by reducing those hospital admissions, again, reducing costs. I think if you're watching this tonight, get in touch, careboodle.com, go to a LinkedIn, find Care Boodle on LinkedIn, connect with you on there, ask those questions. I've learned a lot through this, and it's actually given me some thoughts for myself and my own sort of services around, is this going to be beneficial for us? Can we try this within a nursing home setting? It's definitely something that is piqued my interest, and I think has for many watching this tonight. So Kirsten, Stella, Liz, again, I don't know how you find the time to do all of this, as well as create careboodle.com, and then join me on a Tuesday evening when it's the Bake Off final. Oh my gosh.
Oh, is it the Bake Off final? Oops.
I'm avoiding Google and I have to wait until Stephen comes home now until I can watch this. I mean, we all know who's going to win anyway, because she's been smashing it for like the last 6 weeks. And I think she's fabulous. But still, I want that anticipation. So yeah, thank you so much for giving up your Tuesday evening. Kirsten, Liz, I'm sorry to have interrupted you both in the same bed. Really, really great to catch up with you both. All of you. If you want to stay on afterwards, I'll just say a huge thank you off air. But for everyone else, please do subscribe. Keep an eye out for our later shows that are coming up. We've got a couple more now before we finish for the festive season in December. Next year, we are going back to basics. So we'll still be having conversations like this. We're just going to structure them differently. They may be pre-recorded. There may be little snippets that we put out. But next year, we are focusing on those those necessary skills that managers, nurses, care teams need to be able to provide outstanding care, and for you to be able to evidence it to the regulators. We're thinking, how do you write a care plan? Something so basic, something so simple, which we think should be common sense, but we know it's not. How do you complete your DSPT? How do you submit a CQC notification? What CQC notifications do you submit for what incident? Those are the conversations we're going to be having next year, so you can take them direct into your nursing home, into your home care service, into your supported living workplace, and actually use it to support the rest of your team. More conversations like we had with Nicola Holmes. And then these conversations we are going to have probably the same amount of, but we want to structure them differently so that we can still keep you connected with the wider care sector. But 2026 is a back to basic year at the Care in View. So thank you all so much. Please stay safe. Have a good bonfire night. If any of you celebrate it and go and watch the fireworks. I am at the minute putting up my Christmas decorations, and if there's anyone else out there that do Christmas decks this early, preach. It's amazing. We will see you as usual 7:30 next week on the Care in View. Take care.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.